Have you ever wondered what happens if your new fountain pen isn't quite right? Sometimes you get a pen and it has a scratchy nib, or there's something wrong with the barrel. There's a lot of different tiny defects that can happen in the whole process, but figuring out how to handle that is sometimes complex. A lot of times, your reseller will take those pens back and exchange for one that's not defective and deal with the parent company themselves. But recently, I purchased two fountain pens from the Atlas Stationery's Experience Pen Sales. Now, these are pens that are deeply discounted that have been returned for whatever reason. Sometimes they're perfectly fine, and sometimes they have small issues. In this particular case, I had bought two Esterbrooks. I had an Esterbrook Blue Moon, which did not advertise as having a scratchy nib when I bought it, but ended up having a very scratchy nib. It's possible the Atlas probably didn't know about that. And the other one had a very tight barrel. This also wasn't listed in the description, but they're both not big deals. Esterbrook's warranty covers both of these things. So the first step I did was I went onto their website. I tried to fill out a form there, but didn't really get a response back. I then contacted them through their Instagram. I think the website's a little tricky, so I would suggest sending them a direct email opposed to filling out that form. But once I did that, they got back to me. They sent me the form that I needed to fill out, which I showed you here. And you just fill the form out, you mail the pen in. Packaging them up was pretty simple. You just want to make sure that you're including the original packaging to make sure the pen doesn't get damaged in shipping. They recommend that you send the package with a tracking number. That way, if it gets lost in the mail, you have some way of finding it. And to make sure that that form that you filled out is attached to the pen so that it doesn't somehow get misplaced. And if you're shipping, like in this case where I was shipping two pens rather than one, the second pen I added after I packed the first one. Anyhow, so when you're sending off more than one pen, you want to make sure that the slip is connected to whatever pen. So I taped them together. The whole process took just a couple of minutes, and this way I knew that they were going to be repaired correctly. All right, my pens have returned from Esterbrook. I'm sorry this is already a little opened. It came and I didn't recognize who it was from, so I was like, what did I order? So I went ahead and opened it just far enough to see what was inside. So let's unpack these together. These are the two pens that I've sent off to Esterbrook that I'd gotten, both of them from the Atlas. Hold on. Oh, there's a bunch of little stickers or something in here. Oh, what are those? Okay, I gotta look at what those are. But these are the two pens that I had packaged up and sent back to Esterbrook. I had gotten them from the Atlas Experience pen sale, and the Blue Moon had a scratchy nib, and the Twinkle, the body was so tight that it was scraping the inside. So I messaged back and forth with them, found out that they would cover both of them, and so I sent both back. It took a while to get those answers, so it took a while to ship. I shipped, oh shoot, I will look at the receipt to tell you exactly when I shipped, and they came back yesterday, which was June 18th. So this is everything that was in the package. These are really cool. I don't know what these are. They're like plastic? Maybe they're stickers or something? Because I feel like they have something here on the back. But I really like them. Just really, really cute. So we have pink, we have green, we have this really beautiful blue and yellow. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I like them. So we're going to keep those. And then this is the slips that I sent in with them. I had taped everything to them. Oh, Blue Moon, new nib, Twinkle, new barrel. Okay, so that's what they did. So let's go ahead and ink these guys up. We'll maybe open them. Sometimes I have a hard time opening the boxes, so I get my tweezers out just to give me a little leverage. But I had sent everything back in their original boxes because I wanted to make sure that everything was all good and they had everything, and I wanted the pens to be protected. So this is the Blue Moon, which I think is gorgeous. I absolutely love this pen. And there's the new nib. And this was a medium nib. Oh, it looks like they must have tested it because there's a little bit ink there. So they probably dip tested it would be my guess, which would make sense. So we'll ink that one up in just a second. And then this is the Twinkle. That's funny. This is the tape that I used to seal the bubble wrap around this. So I'm going to use my little tweezers again. And the nib on this one wrote perfect. It was just the body that was having some issues. Oh, that's so nice that they were able to replace it. And it looks like they replaced the converter too, because the barrel was so tight that it was having, such tight issues that it had worn off a lot of that. Now it does feel a little bit wet. They must have tested this one as well, but I'm really happy that they were able to replace that for me. So it does still look a little scuffed up in there, but maybe I don't know, we'll see. So that's what they did on that one. So I am going to go and pick out some inks. We'll ink these guys up and see how they're writing. All right, everybody's inked. So let's go ahead and I'll zoom you guys in. And let's do some writing samples with these. Now this is just a pad of paper I had in my desk. So this is Romeo. It's a cream colored paper. We're not doing this for the colors of the ink. And we're just going to see how they write. So the issue with this one, again, was that it had a scratchy nib. I did record that, so if I still have the footage, I'm going to insert it here. Otherwise, I will link the unboxing of this where I show you how scratchy this nib was. So let's see. I did ink this up with one of my new inks, which is Diatramentus Blackberry. This is an ink I had a sample of. I know it performs well. It's just a solid colored ink, but it does have a scent to it. I am not feeling any scratchiness. Oh, maybe a little bit. Still got a little on that backward stroke. Like down and forward, completely smooth. Just depending on the angle, there's just a teeny bit on that backward stroke. Not nearly as bad as it was, though. I think that's acceptable. And then for this one, I was gonna ink it up with Ferris Wheel Press's Storied Blue. Turned out I didn't have enough of a sample of this one to really get a good fill, or much of a fill, even with my ink miser. So what I ended up doing is I had just a little left of Color versus Rainy Day as well, and I mixed the two to get a fill on this one. So I'm not sure what color we're going to get, but a blue. So, pen test. Don't feel any scratches. It does feel a little bit dry, but I think that's an ink thing. I'm just doodling here. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. So I'm not feeling anything in this direction. Maybe a little bit of feedback in the other direction. Down is great, up is great. So I think we're good there. Those are my pens come back from Esterbrook, all fixed and everything. So I'm really happy about that. It makes me feel more positive about doing those experience pen sales and knowing that, yes, I had to pay for shipping on the way there to get these fixed, but that was all I had to pay. And so it makes buying a pen that maybe has some slight issues a little less daunting. So I just wanted to share that experience with you guys. If you have questions about the whole process, let me know. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. And until next time, I'll see you guys real soon.